we have another deal to actually walk and talk through, making deal, no deal decisions. And again, it's these decisions are not made in a vacuum. It really depends on, as you've heard me say time over time, it depends on your goals, your strategies, and your game plan. So let's go ahead and listen to this last deal, no deal presentation, and then we'll walk and talk through it on the back end. Amira, are you unmuted? You should be.
I'm sure. Yes, now I am.
All right, all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. So let me go ahead and get you in here. So we have Amira up here with property 2108 Poplar Grove Street in Baltimore City. Looks like she's asking 35,000 for it. Um, ARV 155, asking 35. Repairs are 70,000. So why don't you break down what type of deal this is and give people an overview?
Um, this I'm using this as a wholesale deal. Definitely being so far away and new in the game. But the property actually is on Poplar Grove. Um, it actually sold. The property next door just recently sold for 153,000. Um, Still has. Do I need to put the pictures up? The renovation is about $70,000. The rent in the area is about 1,500, but it is up and coming. Um, you also have the other properties of Rosedale, two properties on Rosedale that recently sold in the area. It's really close to Coppin State University where they're doing things. It's closer to the Gwynns Falls area, not far from Mondawmin. Um, yeah, but it does need some renovations. It would be nice for a fix or flip or fix and hold. Um, Definitely my position in the game is to actually to buy and hold, but with the distance and not really knowing any contractors there. I think it is a better deal for someone that's actually there and
All right.
present.
So what we're doing right now is we're taking a look at. I pulled up some photos from your listing here. You have a Google Photos
Yes.
drive we opened up. So we're gonna just quickly go through the photos here, and there's a pretty good number of photos. So you can see here, looks like there's some water damage on the wall, which um, I believe was included in that rehab estimate. So this is a two-story house, right,
Yes. It has, yes.
with a basement.
Basement. Yes. That's the bathroom in the basement. Rest of the basement.
So it looks like it already is. Looks like there has ducts for forced hot air, which um, is always something people wonder about the expense of putting in a new forced hot air system. So it looks like that's already there, and there's a close-up shot of that. Um, so full disclosure, I actually have seen these photos because Amira is in our deal mastery program, so I have some familiarity with it. Not that I've been to the property, but has some familiarity with the photos, just helping her to get this property under contract. So, so with this particular property here, Amira, um, what's your knowledge of the one next door in terms of what they did with the property in terms of what it sold for? We'll take a photo. We'll
Um,
take a look at the photos of that one, but just so people can have an idea of, you can't get a much better comp than right next door.
no. They totally redid that. The property next door. My a close friend of mine actually lives on the opposite side, and her house is redone too. But they made it 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. They actually made an entrance to the basement.
So hold on one
The-
second before you continue. So this is your property.
no, that's the property next
That's the
door.
property next door. Okay, so that you can see what
Yeah.
they did to the entrance of the property, right? So right next door, you can see they made an entrance, a door entrance to that particular basement, and it just lets you know what type of height there is in the basement. Um, so let's go over to the next door property. Let's come back to our listing and continue on about the one next door, which sold for what 153.
Yes, they actually had dropped it to 20,000. And they got 153 for it. They redid everything in their property. The porch, the front. I actually saw it in progress and got to walk in it while they were doing the property.
So this is right. This is right next door to your property. So your property is. Let me see here. Your
Yeah, when you see
property
the
is this one right here, right?
yes,
On the right hand side. Okay, just so people can keep a frame of reference. And that's that basement door they put in that we just saw. And we'll just walk through this particular one right next door. So they didn't do a what I would consider to be a high end renovation in terms of they didn't open up the floor plan. They didn't, open up the walls and put a LV outlet or anything like that. They did what I would consider to be a nice renovation, but it's not like they completely opened up the floor plan or changed the floor plan significantly, which is something that of course, when you're looking at renovation costs, makes a big difference.
yeah,
And they finished the basement, of course,
yes,
and did a good job.
yes, they did.
They did a good job. Okay,
All right, so let's wrap up with this one here. So again, deal or no deal, deal or no deal. So what's the risk and reward? So this particular property is a wholesale deal. It could be a flip or it could be a burr, also known as fix and hold, a buy, rehab, rent, refi, repeat. And so with this particular deal, it requires significant capital expenditures or renovation costs. So I think Amir was saying probably $80,000 of renovation. So you buy for 35, you put 80 into it, and could sell from anywhere from 155, where the one next door sold for 153, in the summer, to now where properties are selling from 155 up to 180. So you could buy for 35, put 80 into it. That's 115, and you can sell for anywhere from 155 to 180. So you could have, a gross spread of 40 up to, what's that, 40 to $70,000. So there's a much higher reward with that type of transaction. If you're going to do a flip, a gross spread of 40 to $70,000 of flip profits gross, or if you're going to renovate for cash flow to do a fix and hold, you probably wouldn't have to put in 80. You probably put in half that, buy for 35, put in something like 40, and then you could probably do a cash out refi, to, rent, refi, and repeat it, and then pull a lot of your cash out. So risk reward, is there more risk with this particular deal than the first two? Well, the first deal, pretty much was turnkey, no renovations or capital expenditures required. The second one had, roughly $5,000 to $7,000 of capital expenditures, which has more risk than no renovations. And then this one has, anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 of renovations, depending on whether you're going to do it as a flip or as a fix and hold. So the risk clearly is higher on this one because there's more capital expenditures, more renovation repairs required, but then the reward is higher from an immediate flip profit standpoint, or cash out on a refi. So, deal or no deal, right? So it depends on your strategy, right? Yes, there's more risk, but there's more reward. Will they be cash flow if you fix and hold this one? Yes, there'll be cash flow. What will be your cash on cash return? All these different things have to be calculated and tabulated. Now, what were the results from our live polling? Well, we had double-digit people weigh in, and 3 out of 4 people said it was a deal. So 73% said deal. Only 27% said no deal. But again, whether this is a deal that you should pursue, whether it's a deal to you in your real estate business, depends on what are your goals. Like, what are your goals? Are your goals residual income, cash flow, building wealth, pursuit of financial freedom? If it's focused on that and you want to minimize your risk per se, and then maybe this isn't the deal for you because it requires a significant amount of capital expenditures in order to actually make that cash flow happen. So again, whether all of the deals we talked about tonight were highly rated as deal versus no deal. The worst one was 3 out of 4 saying it was a deal versus no deal. The best one, 95% said deal versus no deal. So all of these deals rated out to be very strongly in the yes, it's a deal category versus no, it's not a deal. But is it the right deal for you? And again, that depends on what are your goals. Are your goals residual income, cash flow, to build wealth, pursuit of financial freedom so that you have most of your real estate activities, your acquisitions focus on cash flowing properties, the addition of units to your portfolio, not only for cash flow now, but cash flow monthly, cash flow later, and then appreciation later. So you are adding to your wealth. So if those are your goals, then maybe the first two were deals for you, but the last one wasn't. On the other side, if your goals are to generate as much income as possible in the shortest timeline possible, then maybe the last deal was a deal for you because, you want to bring in as much income as possible, in the short term, and you're willing to take a lot of risk. So again, it really depends on what are your 2021 real estate investing goals. And then those goals will dictate, the proper strategies to pursue those goals. And then, of course, the game plan to implement it. So I would love to talk to you about, your real estate goals. You can get a free strategy session with me. We'll talk about your goals. I'll sit back and listen, hear about what your goals are. I'll actually give you feedback on what I think your strategy should be, and then what game plan you should use to implement. So it could be some resources I share with you, or it could be Deal Mastery that, could be those resources for you. So book a free strategy session with me if you're watching live or on replay at mastermindopen.com. And just to touch on a few questions that have been asked. So question by Tony. Can a wholesaler take some money now and short monthly payments over time? Absolutely. You can set up your wholesale deals where you take, some money up front and then set up a payment plan schedule on the balance of your assignment fee due. And we've helped many of our students to do that over the years as well. So here's a look at some of the strategic partners that you should put in place in order to make, your goals come to fruition. So number one, stop being a lone wolf. You have to surround yourself with like-minded investors, like-minded individuals that are goal-oriented, that are moving in the right direction, the same direction you are. That starts with, having a family around you, like our Deal Mastery Mastermind, Deal Mastery experts, having the right experts around you, like, investor, knowledgeable accountants and bookkeepers, and of course, starting with a mentor. You want to make sure you have the right lead gen team around you that can help you with, bringing in leads, not only from the motivated seller side, but also from the private investor, private money side. You want to make sure you have the right support in terms of VAs, virtual assistants, and contractors, field team members. So, for example, that property on Poplar Grove, the last one, our Deal Mastery student Amira, she actually lives in Hampton and she's doing virtual wholesaling. The only way she was able to get that property into contract was that she relied on and leveraged one of our field team contacts to actually go out in the field, take the photos, videos, and actually give her the re-app estimate on that particular property. So it takes, a village, as they say, and you have to stop being a lone wolf. Join a family of like-minded individual, a tribe of investors that are goal-oriented like yourself, and it'll help you to, achieve your goals. So again, I just said it just now, stop being a lone wolf, join a family of like-minded investors, get a hands-on mentor, use proven resources, leverage trusted relationships, and expert strategies, and that'll help you to achieve your goals in a faster pace, in a shorter timeline. So again, I'll do a free strategy session with you to talk about your goals, talk about strategies that can help you to achieve the goals, implement a game plan, and you can get that strategy session booked for you today or tomorrow at mastermindopen.com. Any questions before we wrap up tonight? There were a couple other questions here. A question about whether you can actually pursue wholesale deals, and that don't really understand. Let me see. I think the question is, whether you can negotiate the seller financing, like in the first deal. So yes, I mean, everything's negotiable. You can always negotiate seller financing, even if it's a wholesale deal. Once you take on the assignment, you now are the buyer. You can go to the seller and try to renegotiate those terms. I think the first deal had a 5-year balloon, so you can of course try to renegotiate that. But of course, you may not be able to renegotiate it and have to close it as is. But the cool thing about having, as you saw in the first two deals, seller financing or subject to existing financing, is that the financing is already in place. You don't need a bank. You don't need to qualify for a bank loan or hard money loan, a private money loan. The financing is already there. So this is an interesting call tonight on our Deal Mastery Monday call. I think it was very good to look at some of these deals after the fact. I actually was hosting, of course, Deals Meetup, and when I'm hosting it, I'm not able to see many of the details in retrospect as I was able to see them tonight. All three of those deals, I think, are good deals. It just depends on, are they good deals for you? Because the audience live polled them. At worst, like 3 out of 4 was a good deal. At best, 95% was a good deal. So, the feedback was overwhelmingly good. But then the question is it a good deal for you? And only you know that, but only you'll know that if you actually take time and get expert help with fleshing out not only your goals, but making sure your goals have clarity with the proper strategies and game plan to execute those strategies. So that's all for tonight, unless you guys have any questions. If you caught this live, thank you for being with us live here, Deal Mastery Monday. We're here with you every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Andre Johnson with Deal Mastery Monday. We look forward to catching you on another event. If we don't talk to you before our next Deal Mastery Monday, we will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. We also have a Deal Finder strategy call on Mondays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and you can get us there at dealfinders.info. But I'd love to talk to you again about your goals and see how we can possibly help. And you can get with us at mastermindopen.com. So with that, we're going to sign off, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.